Good day, everyone. This is Juanita Kapp from Meticulous Moments, and I'm super blessed this morning to be back on a new session with you, to be back on a new episode. And I just look back on my journey with Meticulous Moments, and I'm just grateful. I have that energy of gratitude this morning for every single amazing person that I've met, every single success story that I got to hear, and that I was able to bring to the world, because it's such a blessing to see how people and individuals are resilient and how they persevere and how they take the things that are meant to destroy them and they use them for fuel and as stepping stones to get to the place where they are meant to be. Now, the theme of destiny has been on my mind for quite some time now. You know, we read so many books, and I love books, but we read so many books about what is our purpose in life. What are we here for? What were we meant to do? And these are questions that every single person faces on a daily basis. And it's wonderful to note and to see that the universe really brings things together in a most magnificent and a phenomenal way to kind of guide us on that path. God guides us, He leads us, and He opens the way for us. And I heard some gospel songs this week that came up on my playlist, and also talking about how God is the way maker. And it was so refreshing to hear those words and that music flowing together and resounding the praises of God. He who was and is to come. And another song spoke about how death was arrested, how Jesus saved us on the cross, and how we have everlasting life. And the other song was Reckless Love, and that spoke about it doesn't matter where we are, God's going to climb that mountain. God's going to break through every lie and shadow and smoke screen to come and get us. He'll leave the 99 sheep out there and He'll go look for the one. And it's so beautiful then to have scriptures coming up in our spirit talking about how He is our shepherd and we are His flock. And that's all of us, because He created us and He gave us breath and life and meaning and purpose. And today I'm with an amazing friend of mine, fellow martial artist. He's an author. He's a multiple Hall of Famer. He's also going to be in the MAM Hall of Fame 2024. And we are working on some big projects together. He's an ambassador for MAM. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Chris Wetherington to the stage.
Thank you so much. And everything you were saying about God, it's a truly inspiration, because I believe, especially in the martial arts world, everything that we do, we need to lead by His example and use that as our motivation.
I agree completely. And you know, Chris, I was thinking the other day, and actually when we were doing the other interview, you are so well versed. You know, you articulate things in such a phenomenal way that I believe, you know, we're busy with your projects. I believe we should start, with you doing some public speaking, because you can relate to topics, you can speak to people, and you speak from the heart and from experience. Now, I have you here today, and I mentioned earlier, let's delve into the backstory of Chris Wetherington. Tell us about who you are and how your life has been up to this point.
Well, I've always been a young, blue-collar, hardworking individual. And life is tough, and there's bullying in every facet. Because when I've grown up as a young person, you go through school, elementary, middle school, high school, and I was bullied every step of the way, and I saw others get bullied, and I saw a lot of people just have no hope. It's like, let's say you get bullied and mistreated, and then let's say you don't have much of a home life or anything outside, or you don't have no support. Because I met people who didn't have support at home or didn't have support in their general vicinity, no mentors, nobody. They just kind of walked around aimlessly, and I saw a lot of suffering for people. And as I grew up, as I developed, I held on to that concept that I don't want anyone to suffer like that. If I have the skill sets to help people, I want to serve the community in some way. When I was younger, I didn't know what way that would be. But as I grew up and developed, I started to learn different skills. I started to learn different guidances from wise mentors. And then all that accumulated knowledge, I just decided to take pieces of it and share it everywhere I turn. Kind of like the whole pass it along. If somebody does a good deed for you, do a good deed for the next person, even if that previous person never crosses your path again. That's what we're called to do. And you were talking about God, and that's what He calls us to do.
Yeah, amen to that. Absolutely. And, I believe everybody has a special role to fulfill. I don't think that things are coincidence. I think that Jesus plans out our way in our life, and different people refer to God in a different manner. Universe, God, higher power. But at the end of the day, guys, it's all about recognizing that there's a bigger hand at work. And I do wonder often about the roles that we are chosen to fulfill. I said to someone this morning, I said, we all have a special purpose in life and in this world, and I found mine, and that is to bring this wonderful energy to the world through people's stories. And I'm grateful and I'm blessed because I learn. Sometimes the guests would come back to me and they would say, I'm so blessed and I'm so happy and energized I was on your show. But really, I'm the one that was blessed. I'm the one that was, that got so much out of the story. And I want to ask you something, because uh, bullies are not something that's just, a, I'd say, present when we're young. We get bullied when we're grown ups as well, guys. It happens.
Oh
Why
yeah.
do you think bullies act in that way? Why do you think?
Well,
What do you think's the motivation there?
it's insecurities. Some of it is environmental factors because you touched on, like, let's say you're a college person. There's bullying in the college levels. There's
Oh yeah.
bullying even in like the graduate school, even in the workplaces. So adults are getting bullied. There it goes from 0 to like 110. You're bullied from one end to the other. It's like there's no rhyme or reason. A lot of times somebody could bully you because they're insecure. Sometimes they could be jealous. Sometimes they might just have no outlet. Sometimes they just have no support and they're acting out and they're crying for help and they don't even know that they're doing it. It just, the mind is a very interesting thing, but most people, even like the wise scholars, still can't even figure out all the aspects of the human brain and say this person is doing this for this reason, because the mind is so abstract. There's no way to ever 100% know what everybody does and why. But all you can do is what God says: love one another as God loves us. And that's
Abs-
a lot of times people bully because they do not have love in their life in some fashion. Now, there's rare cases where there's people who bully that do have a great upbringing, great life, and then they still just rebelled for whatever
Mhm.
reason. And that's rare. That happens. But people, a lot of times, they're just missing something. They're missing out on something, or someone, some mentor, some guidance, some form of affirmation.
That's true. That's true. I see bullying as a cry for help, like you've mentioned. I really, there's so many different things out there. There's so many variables that I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I like to do that. And when I see them going through a tough time and acting out, in the form of narcissism or gaslighting or whichever road they may choose, always try and look at the inner child of that person. What is the inner child of that person telling me? What is it saying? It's saying, oh, I'm mad at the world because I don't feel loved. Or maybe it's saying, I'm angry at the world because I went through all of these things and nobody understands. There's so many different things that really, at the end of the day, and you mentioned that, we just need to love everybody. Sometimes we love them in close proximity. They're part of our circle and we work with them and, we build lives and relationships that are lasting. And other times we can still love them, but we do it from a distance, right? Because we know that person's behavior is not acceptable to us. And we just need to be and honored
Just
to be here with you today. And I want to ask you, Chris, why do you do the things you do? Why do you do the acting? Why do you do the books that you write? Why do you enjoy the martial arts so much? Let's look at your why today.
Okay, my why is because I want to serve God. God says to do things through love. And all the different outlets, let's say the media, for example, you got TV and internet and movies and everything. It's a good outlet to reach people. And through your podcast, through the TV show I was on Talk About It TV, where you can reach millions. And like I said, on that TV show that I was doing called The Masters Council, I was reaching tens of millions of people, hundreds of millions of people just sitting from this chair, giving people who never heard such wisdom the access to what they never thought they could have.
That's good. That's right. And that makes me think of something, Chris. I'm going to mention this to you. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this online before. I don't think I have. I was an ordained pastor for 15 years, and I worked in very big congregations. And I loved it. I loved working with the people, whether it was welfare or whether it was with the discipleship program or the children's church or the young adults. I ran all of that. I was the head of department for each of them. I preached on Sundays, which I loved. I did the music and the worship. I had bands. I brought out the CD in 2013, the gospel CD. And then at some point in time, and that was close to the passing of my mom on July 5th in 2020, the church is closed, right? So it was COVID. We weren't allowed to go to church. We had to take everything online. And I said to the Lord, why is this happening? We can't meet on a Sunday. I'm a shepherd. I can't see my flock. I can't do the counseling in person like I used to do. And I had questions. I had whys. And God spoke to me one morning, Chris, while I was praying. And he said, well, I have given you such a bigger audience now because things are online. It's not just the people in your church. It's now global. And I enjoy what you said about having an international audience because you have reached so many people to tell your story. And if that didn't happen, if we didn't go online, maybe that wouldn't have happened for me, for instance, or other shows that started. How important is it for us to tell our personal story to people? How important is it for us to connect on a personal level? Because there's a difference between communication, effective communication, and connecting. I preach that it's 3 steps. Communication. I can go to the Walmart or the Walgreens and I can communicate with people. Maybe the lady that's helping me, showing me the right aisle to go to. That's communication. I can effectively communicate. I can phone someone and I can say, hi, I'm looking for a duplicate title of a car. I'm I'm not in that state at the moment. Please send it somewhere else. But connecting is something else. Connecting is when we really get to that place where we communicate on a different level. How important is it for us to reach that level with people that we meet?
Well, I think it's absolutely important. And going back to what you were talking about the post-COVID church concept, you were giving an outlet to, because remember, church is a people, not a place. So the fact that the building you were told to shut down, what did we do? The media world opened up. And even at that same time, martial arts schools always said that you have to be in person, you have to train with us, you have to be there. And then when everything shut down and you could no longer do it and everybody went online, oh my gosh, this is a whole new world. We always said you couldn't do this. Now we said you can do this. It changed everything, but giving people a new perspective. And the trick is having the proper perspective and hindsight of what's going on and what outlets you have in front of you you can utilize, what tools are given to you that you can use as a blessing. Even though society shut down, was supposed to be like mass hysteria, mass panic, everybody just be desolate, we saw, there's some opportunities here. If we do this right, then we could use this as a blessing rather than a terror.
I agree. And our dojo was like that. You had to be there in person, right? You had to be at the sessions. You had to be at a certain amount because we're full contact on top of that. And then all of a sudden with COVID, guess what we did? We had classes on Zoom. And we continued training. We weren't allowed to grade for 2.5 years. Even after the restrictions were taken away because of the full contact nature, and they weren't sure if it was going to have a breakout of COVID again. But we continued training for 2 years on Zoom. So that worked. That absolutely worked. And so many things opened up. And I just think that we need to take life one day at a time. I think the biggest problem uh, and things that I faced in my life, and times that I've been despondent, is I love to make plans ahead and in the future, and then I get ahead of myself. But I've learned I have to be present in the moment. I have to take it one day at a time, one step at a time, and know that all my smaller goals will eventually accumulate to my big goal. And it's beautiful to see that the world has changed. I don't know what you did in COVID. What did you do when you were under lockdown? For me and the kids, because the church was closed, I mean, I was a pastor 7 days a week. I was available 24/7 before COVID. I missed a lot of dinners with my kids because I had to be somewhere counseling someone or doing a deliverance for someone or standing next to a car wreck or standing next to a deathbed and helping someone over that beautiful bridge to Jesus. But with COVID, all of a sudden, we're in our house and we can't go nowhere. You can't even go outside your yard. You know what I did? I had these amazingly big boxes of wool. So my daughter and I, we sat and we knitted literally every day while we watched Korean dramas. And at night, I would go online and preach to the people or do counseling. What did you do in the COVID? How did you get through it?
Uh, I just did. I was working at a supermarket at the time because I've been working in retail for the past 17, 18 years now. And during that was for part of the job, and then also doing martial arts and still, but utilizing the media like what we were just talking about still gave you access to do all the things you could do. You just weren't in person, but you have, instead of, let's say you were in person and you had 30 on your mat or in your room or doing whatever it is you're doing, but yet you go online and you have 100 million in front of you that you can touch through your wisdom. It's like, I think it was a benefit rather than a hindrance. So it's just the perspective and the way you look at things. Because if you look at it, oh, we're cursed, this is bad, because they told you it was bad. But if you make a positive out of it, and it's like, man, because a lot of what's going on, what the online stuff happened, they're still doing now, even though that's all over, all the restrictions. And now I've seen people have more access to things. I've seen people enact new programs utilizing those services and the social media and everything, and all these outlets. People are benefiting and profiting and helping more people at a larger scale than ever before.
That's the truth. That's the truth. And I actually looked at it this way. I like to take a positive spin on things. I like to, when something's an obstacle like we talked about, I like to take it and make it fuel for something better, right? I like to flip the script. But what I saw in the whole COVID situation was that God was giving me an opportunity to take a little bit of a sabbatical to rest because I was honestly too busy. I was burned out, and that's what we can do. And I also felt, that he was giving me some time because he knew my mom was going to pass. He was giving me some downtime so that I could digest it and grieve. Now, every scenario, I don't think we realize how big and how great and how magnificent God really is, because for each and every single person, there was a purpose for them to be where they were, what they were doing in the COVID, because there's a story, there's a lesson, there's a reason, there's a rhyme to everything. And that's only God that can orchestrate that. Let me tell you something. None of us can get up in the morning and tell the sun where it needs to sit today. And we don't know how to let the moon and the universe operate the way it's supposed to. None of us can put together the families and the groupings and the relationships like God does. None of us can orchestrate any of that because we're small, we're limited, but we're still powerful through the power of the Lord, through the Holy Spirit, through energy, call it what you will. I believe in the Holy Spirit, and I believe the Holy Spirit is inside of me. The same power that raised Christ from the dead lives in me. We know that scripture, but I'm going to put a twist on that because I also believe in energy. I believe in energy 100%. I taught it in my church, and I believe that our energy, a signature, attracts things in our life, and the energy we put out there attracts things in our life. So I don't discount the scientific part of our being. I look at the religious part, I look at the physical part, how amazingly we've been made, and I also look at the scientific part because at the end of the day, to me, God gave us science. If it wasn't for science, a lot of inventions wouldn't be in place today. A lot of medical procedures wouldn't be possible today. So for me, it's a blend. But to see the hand, to see the magnificence, to see the power, how do we tell people, Chris, and what is your firm belief on how powerful we really are? Because I believe I'm a manifesting generator. There's things that I've spoken and written down, and guess what? Through the power that we have been blessed with, those things happen. How powerful are we? What is your view on that?
Okay, I'll give you like a little example. Let's say you're in a room. Let's say there's 100 people in the room, and there's a couple of negative people around, and then everybody gravitates towards those negative people that is trying to ruin the mood, and they follow suit. Your energy that you put off has an effect. You could either make somebody happy with your actions, you can make somebody mad or sad or whatever, or sometimes you could have no effect. But there's a lot of time, let's say you're going happy and strong, somebody else, like they say, they put a damper on the mood. Like they came in, they were all somber, something's going on in their life, they're miserable, and they lash out, and then now you're miserable. Sometimes that happens. We're human. We fall, but it's like that same concept. It's just like suffering is contagious at times. Sometimes in the same facet, the happiness that God gives us, we can give to others as well. Sometimes they take it, sometimes they don't. But it's like if we put out happiness and love, it can be contagious, but so can the evil. The tongue is the most powerful weapon on this earth.
That's true. The things we say, oh my goodness, I believe that. I've seen it in my life. I do. I believe it. And I believe in getting up in the morning and saying, putting my manifestations out there, my intentions, and I say this is going to be a great day. And I'm going to have many breakthroughs. And doors are going to open and people are going to be blessed. And it's going to be one of those days where you can just look back at it and say, whoa, how amazing was that? Because I know gratitude has a frequency. Excitement has a frequency. Joy has a frequency. Happiness has a frequency. Love has a frequency. And we live in a world of frequencies. Even a rock has a frequency. I don't know if you guys don't know that, but go look that up. So learn how to effectively utilize your environment. This is a vessel. The Bible speaks about it as a vessel. This is your powerhouse. This is what you use to manifest your reality. This is what you use to manifest your destiny. Your mouth, your words. Don't say negative things. The Bible has something amazing that it says. It says if you can't say something good, then don't say anything at all. If you can't say something good about someone, then don't say anything else. And I think those things are so true. And that's why I enjoy, with you, you're always articulated so well, like I've mentioned. You're always positive. You're always happy. You always see the opportunity and the beauty in things. Now, you have done a lot of work in the martial arts. You understand energy. You understand chi. You understand frequency. You're also an actor. And you're also an author. Now, with the acting, congratulations. I mean, you're in an amazing project. And I want to give a shout out to Das de Rat, my friend. I've known him so long. He's my brother. And I have huge respect for him. And all the other actors that's going to be in there. Congratulations, guys. But let's talk about your books. Because I want us to advertise your amazing books today. And audience, if you are interested in one of those titles, and I'm going to post a link here as well, after this session in the comments, you are able to purchase these books. But tell us about the different books you have so that the audience members can hear what do they have to choose from.
Okay, I'm in the Who's Who of Martial Arts 9th edition, which features Cynthia Rothrock on the cover, which is an international bestseller, and I have a co-author credit for. We just had the AMA Legacy 10-year anniversary of it. This is the new book that's come out. The martial arts compilation books. Each person are martial arts legends, and they wrote their credentials, their biography, their story, their history, and they were recognized. So if you look at all the people on this cover, is
I
everybody that was in the Who's Who series, that each one of them graced the cover of each edition of the Who's Who in the last 10 years. And if you look on the back cover, somebody you know is right there in the center there.
Yep.
So it's a true honor to be among the giants of the world.
Uh,
Grandmaster Michael Hornsby was telling me, walk amongst the giants. And that's what I'm working on doing. That's what I'm trying to be a respected colleague and serve with honor and share. Him also in his book, which is an international bestseller, Elite Black Belts Who Cook. Me and my wife are both featured in that one with you got two recipes in there because Valerie's got a credit of her own, and she's the cooker in the family. She's very good at it. I let her handle the kitchen. She tells me I'm not allowed to touch anything because I'd
good.
probably end up putting it on fire or destroying it because I'm not good at cooking. That's not my skill set. She's like, you're banned from the kitchen. Don't touch it. So if you're good, I'll let you microwave something. Now get out.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's her territory. That's her territory. I know Hanshi Bowen very well. He was actually my first MAM member. I don't know if people know this, but I had this concept and this idea for the Meticulous Martial Arts Mastermind. And I went to Hanshi Bowen. I said, Hanshi, I have this idea. Would you be my member, my first member? And he was my first member. Now, we connected on a lot of levels because he's also a minister. And martial artists, both of us. So he is from Who's Who in the martial arts. He is Elite Publications, and that's the books that Chris is talking about here. And also, great news, guys. I haven't posted on this yet, but I'm launching at the MAM Hall of Fame. I'm launching my book, and I decided to do it through Elite Publications. I am a publisher myself, but for this edition, because it's about martial arts, I decided to do it through Elite Publications. And just tell us, Chris, I think you mentioned that these books go for how much again? And I put the link in the comments, guys. Welcome to purchase
It,
your copy.
well, it depends on the prices, depending on how old they are, also where they're at, because you can get them on Amazon, you can get them in other places as well. And a lot of us who are featured in the books have a lot of them on hand as our own personal copies, and a lot of them have opportunities to sell their own brand and market themselves. And special edition, first editions, that especially if you autograph them, makes them more valuable. And it's like having a keepsake that's autographed by one of the legends. It just like you don't get to see that every day, and it's rare stuff in the world that's special.
That's true, and I think what I like about having your own book and your own copies, that you personally write a message in there and you sign it. And guys, let me tell you, Chris has such a wonderful future ahead of him. You better get your copies now, because those books are going to be worth a lot in a few years from now. And get your copy now. Be smart about it. Get your personally signed and autographed copy. Buy it from Chris, and then also make sure that you keep it safe. I think when we believe in ourselves, Chris, other people start believing in us as well. I don't think people will believe, really, if someone doesn't have self-confidence and belief in their abilities and the things that they can do, other people are not going to follow. It starts with this. It starts with us. It starts with self-love. All respect starts with self-respect. All dignity starts with having a good relationship with self. How are you taking care of your mental, your emotional, your physical, your spiritual energy? Are you talking to yourself, saying uplifting words? And all of those things make a compound and put the person together for what they bring to the world. And if that's a positive thing, people are attracted to positivity and love and life and wonderful gestures and adventures, because that's what we were meant for. Nobody, and you mentioned that earlier, nobody wants to sit around and be upset and feel negative, and because it's draining. And that's a choice. Every day is a choice. What are we going to make of today? So, guys, today for you, your task out there in the audience is purchase Chris's book, purchase his personal copy. I'll post the price and the link there. Make sure you buy it, you put it away safely. It's going to be a lot of money soon. And Chris, I want to ask you, what do you want to tell the audience today? What's your word of encouragement to the audience today?
Yeah, 1 second about that. There's one more book that I didn't mention that's also
Oh,
family publications. The Action Martial Arts Magazine Hall of Honors book, which I'm featured on the cover, and it is a memorial to Mr. Pasquale, who recently passed away. It was all the inductees at the Action Martial Arts Magazine Hall of Fame, Alan Goldberg's event, which I'm sure you know of him very well.
I know Alan Goldberg. Yes, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
He gave me the Elite Honorable Warrior Award in class of 2024. I wasn't able to attend the event due to a work schedule conflict, but that's the story of my life. You know, being a blue collar worker, you know, stepping up, doing what I need to. It's like I got to be everywhere at once, and most of the time I just can't make it.
Well, I just wanted to say I was at the Hall of Honors this year in January, and I was going to ask you. I didn't see you there.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
wasn't there.
but it's
I was
such a big
invited. I was inducted. I just couldn't make
right.
it due to a schedule conflict.
But that's okay, Chris. These things happen, and it will get better and it will change because you're actively working on it, and you're busy being positive about it as well. So we take it one day at a time. One project at a time, change one person's day. Smile, guys. Smile at someone. It might change the whole trajectory of the day. Say something positive. I walked into an auto shop. It was about 2 days ago. Was it yesterday? I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm so busy I lose days. But I walked in and there was this lady, and we were giving her business cards and everything, and she was looking a little bit tired. Now I noticed she was married, and I thought to myself, family, kids, guys, remember the work never stops. You're at work and then you go home and then there's work, right? The washing doesn't wash themselves, the dishes are there, we're raising our children. And I thought she's tired, because she's probably got a big family. And as I walked away, she had this beautiful, and it was this purple, the same. I don't know if it's showing purple on your screens, guys, but the same purple that my mouse is. She had a huge purple keyboard, something silly. As I walked away, I turned around and I said, "Oh, I love your purple keyboard." And you could just see her face light up. It was like I was giving her a present, and she was like, "Thank you." Because obviously, that's something, it's an item that she enjoys. She sits in front of that laptop the whole day, that computer screen. She'd like to look at a little bit of purple instead of black. So just to give her that compliment, it just made her day. And let's keep making each other's days, guys. Let's give people the benefit of the doubt. Let's treat people good. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And Chris, you keep shining. Now, you and I are busy with a lot of projects, and I'm very proud of you for everything that you've accomplished. And good luck with everything for your day. I'm going to put the link for the payments of your books in the comments, guys. So make sure you get your personalized copies. And final words, tell us more.
Okay, I like the story you were just telling about the lady who you complimented. Going back to what we were talking about is the words, and the tongue is the most powerful weapon. You can use it for good. Sometimes people just need a kind word, a loving gesture, and you can make their world. I get it. Sometimes just a good conversation when you're crossing somebody's path, a complete stranger. I've had some of the best conversations in the world with somebody that I just walked past for that brief moment, never saw them again after, but it made their day. And just to see the smile on their face, just to see the electricity. And sometimes they've said, hey, I was having a bad time. I really needed that. Or let's say something came up that you said that resonated with them, that you didn't even know what they needed, but you gave it to them, and that changed everything for them. I've been in those scenarios. I've seen everything in between. And I like having a big mouth. I love talking. I love helping people. So it's pretty much just let's go help people. And sometimes just a kind word can do it. Like we were talking about, playing it forward, passing on a good deed, a loving gesture, just being a good person. Because that alone isn't going to get you very far as Jesus Christ. What we talk about is you must love as God loves. So it's like you can try to be the best person you can be, but we're all going to fall short. We need God's love.
Yeah.
Because human is flawed. We're not perfect. God is.
Amen to that. Amen to that. We all fall short of the glory of God. And thank God, God is God. I would never want this job because to put up with all of us, all these children that he has, I think it's a 24/7 job, and God is just good, and He wants us to be good out there. And there's two people on here that's watching us at the moment, and that's T-Bone and Ron Murray. So T-Bone, hi to you. Thank you for everything you're doing. T-Bone is making some plaques for me for my event in December. And then Sensei Ron, he's an inductee with his whole family. I'm serious, guys. His whole family is being inducted. Ron and Tracy and Carl and Durian, they are being inducted in the MAM Hall of Fame. I've known them forever. They are also MAM group members, and they are just phenomenal. So check out T-Bone. He's got a business. He makes amazing plaques. Make sure you do business with him. He's on Facebook. And then also reach out to Sensei Ron and wish him an amazing day. I know they celebrated their children's birthdays in the last 2 days. So shout out to them as well. Chris, it's been wonderful having you on the show. We're going to have more shows, of course. We talked about that. It's always a blessing. And I will see you in the next session, guys, because I have to almost run to another meeting. But let's put on those smiles. Let's generate that positive inner joy, and let's keep shining. Thank you so much, Chris, for the honor to have you here. Us.
It is a true honor to be on your show, to serve alongside you and help any way I can. And also, I'm so grateful for you inducting me into your MAM Hall of Fame. It is a true blessing and an honor, and I just want to serve with honor and make you proud.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's an honor to have you on board. And I know you've done impeccable things, and I know you're going to continue to do so. I see the vision, I see the value, and I know the world sees it as well. So thank you for being in, man. Have a wonderful day, my brother.
You too.
Bye.
Blessing.
Bye. So, guys, that was another amazing session with Chris Wetherington. Make sure you follow him on social media and make sure that you cheer him on. That's what we do here in Meticulous Moments. We create community upliftment through leadership development. We cheer people on. We make those connections for them that they need. We assist wherever we can because we have been called for service. Now, I just want to give a shout out to my boo, who made me these beautiful meticulousmoments.com pens, and he also made me these beautiful meticulous mugs, and he also made me t-shirts. So I'm going to be selling that merch soon, guys. Not yet. I will let you know when I start doing that. But let's reach out. Look on the comments here after the show. Make sure you purchase Chris's books. They are going to be valuable, signed, personal messages for you. There's 3 that you can choose from. Heck, buy all 3 and then follow him. That's the most important part. We want to make sure that you connect with Chris. Anyone out there, producers, directors, scriptwriters, castings, individuals, reach out to me and Chris because we want to get him into more projects. Now, I just want to put this banner back, and then I'm going to go into the sponsors, and I'll see you guys in the next session. Keep shining.
Beginning, baby, that was it. I want me 'cause I'm into, I'm into it. Figures stop at the photos. I never know.
Yeah. My mind and I ain't no social activist. I'm asking this. Stay for a while now. Put the guns down. You can find another way. You can heal from your pain. Stay for a while now. Put the drugs down, you can find another way. You can heal from your pain.
Beginning, baby, that was it. I want me 'cause I'm into it. Figures stop.
There's no one like you. In the valley where the shadows cling lies a base camp of dreams where summit calls out with a voice every night. It's the place where the brave and bold belong. In our hearts we've needed it all along. Now it's time to break free from the chains that bind. Search to the top where dreams take flight. Embrace the unknown, no longer hide. Journey's not easy, but oh, it's right. New beginnings await. Take your first stride. With each step we take, we don't care if we fail. No longer confined to the same trail. As we climb, we find freedom in our glorious tale. We wear authenticity like a badge of honor that always leads into breaking